The old village of Kampung Seram was a place whispered about, not visited. Nestled deep within the Malaysian jungle, it was a festering wound on the landscape, a place where the trees seemed to lean in, their branches like skeletal fingers eager to snatch away the unwary. My grandfather, a bomo, a shaman of the old ways, had warned me never to go there. He spoke of a darkness that clung to the village like a shroud, a malevolent entity born of sorrow and rage. He called it the Langsuyar. I was a folklorist, a skeptic by trade, driven by a thirst for truth behind the tales. The story of the Langsuyar fascinated me, a woman who died in childbirth, transformed into a shrieking, bloodthirsty creature of the night. It was a classic ghost story, but the sheer terror in my grandfather's eyes whenever he spoke of it, that felt real. So against his wishes, I packed my recording equipment, a heavy-duty flashlight, a healthy dose of academic arrogance, and set off for Kampung Seram. The journey itself was an ordeal. The jungle path was barely there, a faint scar on the forest floor, constantly trying to heal itself. The air grew thick and humid, heavy with the scent of decay and damp earth. Cicadas buzzed with a feverish intensity that grated on my nerves. By the time I saw the first dilapidated hut of the village, the sun was a bleeding smear on the horizon, painting the sky in violent shades of orange and purple. Kampung Seram was a ghost town in the truest sense. Wooden houses on stilts sagged and rotted, their windows like vacant eyes staring out at nothing. Deathly silence hung in the air, broken only by the rustle of unseen things in the undergrowth. I chose what looked like the sturdiest of the abandoned houses to set up my base camp. It was a single-room structure with a gaping hole in the thatched roof. Dust motes danced in the fading light like tiny, frantic spirits. As night fell, the jungle came alive with a symphony of unnerving sounds. I sat on the floor, my back against a rickety wall, my recorder capturing the ambient noise. I was trying to rationalize the growing knot of fear in my stomach. This was just an abandoned village. The stories were just stories. But then, I heard it. It started as a faint cry, like a baby's wail carried on the wind. It was a sound that tugged at something primal, an instinct to protect. But as it grew closer, the sound warped. The infantile cry twisted into a woman's mournful sob, then sharpened into a gut-wrenching shriek of pure agony. It was a sound that didn't belong to this world. My blood ran cold. The cicadas fell silent, as if holding their breath. I scrambled for my flashlight, my hand shaking so badly I could barely switch it on. The beam cut through the darkness, illuminating the dusty interior of the hut. I pointed it towards the doorway, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. The shrieking was right outside now, circling the hut. It was high-pitched, piercing, and filled with a terrifying, inhuman rage. Then I heard a scratching sound from above. Something was on the roof, long scraping noises like fingernails dragging across the thatch. I tilted my flashlight upwards, towards the hole in the ceiling. For a split second, a face peered down at me. It was pale, shockingly white against the blackness of the night sky. The eyes were black pits of despair, and the mouth was a twisted, lipless gash. Long black hair hung down like a morbid curtain. Then, it was gone. Panic seized me. I wasn't a folklorist anymore. I was prey. The creature shrieked again, a sound of triumph and hunger that vibrated through the very wood of the hut. I could hear it scrambling down the side of the house. I fumbled in my pack, my fingers closing around the one thing my grandfather had forced me to take, a small bundle of salt and a shard of iron. He'd told me to throw it at the source of the evil. Superstition. Folly. But right now it was all I had. The door, barely hanging on its hinges, burst inwards with a splintering crash. Standing there, silhouetted against the moonlight, was the Langsuyar. She was horrifyingly beautiful, in a tragic, corrupted way. A long, white burial shroud clung to her slender frame, stained with dirt and something darker. Her feet didn't touch the ground. She hovered a few inches above the floor. Her face was the one I'd seen in the Rufa mask of eternal sorrow, her black eyes fixed on me. The air grew frigid, and the stench of stagnant water and old blood filled the hut. Oh. She drifted towards me, her movements unnaturally smooth. A low, guttural growl rumbled from her chest, and I saw her mouth open, wider than any human mouth should, revealing rows of sharp, needle-like teeth. This was it. This was the end. My academic pursuit had led me to my own gruesome demise. With a surge of pure animal terror, I hurled the bundle for my grandfather. The salt and iron shard flew through the air and struck the creature square in the chest. The effect was instantaneous and horrific. The Langsuyar let out a deafening, unearthly scream, a sound that felt like it was tearing my eardrums. Smoke billowed from where the bundle hit her, as if it were acid. Her form flickered and distorted, her beautiful, tragic face melting into a monstrous visage of pure hatred. She recoiled, floating backwards through the doorway, her shrieks echoing into the jungle as she retreated into the darkness. I didn't wait. I grabbed my pack and ran. I didn't look back. I crashed through the undergrowth, branches whipping at my face, the sounds of the jungle a chaotic roar around me. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs gave out, finally collapsing on the main road, miles from the cursed village. I never went back to Kampung Seram. I have the audio recording, a chilling testament to my encounter. You can hear the silence, the initial cry, the escalating shrieks, and finally, that soul-shattering scream of pain and rage. Sometimes late at night I play it back, not out of academic curiosity, but to remind myself that it was real. To remind myself that some legends are not just stories, they are warnings. The Langsuyar of Kampung Seram is still out there, forever bound to her sorrow, forever hungry. She is a wound on the world that will not heal, a reminder that there are secrets in the darkness that are not meant to be uncovered. And some journeys once started can never truly be finished. The fear she instilled in me, that's a ghost that will follow me for the rest of my days. Thank you for listening. Remember to follow 4 more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there.